Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020. If you're watching the VODs on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/Otaku Showboat. Leave a follow to be notified when I go live Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. US Eastern Time. You can do all of the social stuff through the links below the video, including supporting Pyandon's monster development at patreon.com/Pyandon, and myself at patreon.com/Otaku Showboat. And Immortal is not late. Huzzah! Huzzah for not being late. What do I need to say at the very beginning here? Well, first off, I updated my PC yesterday. Um, let's just say that I've had Windows updates disabled for a period greater than 1 year. Actually, more like 2 years ish, maybe. So I updated. Had two major Windows updates that it did. What Windows do I use? I use Windows 10. I have 10. I have used latest Windows release for quite some time, except I haven't been fully updated with Windows 10. So that changed a little bit of stuff. I do not have version 2004, which is the May 2020 Windows update yet, because apparently my device isn't quite ready for it. And once it is ready, I will see the update available. So, yeah, that's a thing. Oh, and by the way, it took shenanigans to turn off Windows updates, like using a separate tool that completely disables the Windows update process from starting with Windows so that it doesn't actually turn on to do updates. That's how I had done it. And as long as I don't go into that Windows update setting, it wouldn't actually open Windows Update to do updates behind my back. So that's how I had done it. That was the implementation up to this point. I'm pretty sure that it is now on that particular service. So it will do updates ideally. So it changed a few things. In particular, the Windows update managed to actually fix a driver issue with audio that I was having, again, for like 2 years, where my onboard motherboard, back of the motherboard audio wasn't actually being recognized by the computer. One day it just stopped functioning. It wasn't showing up in the list of audio devices. So this whole time I've been running audio through the TV next to me as a monitor, which means that the volume was the TV's volume, and anytime I changed the input on the TV to something else, like a game console, I wouldn't be able to ever hear the desktop audio instead of the TV's console audio. But now that's apparently fixed, so I've now got the actual audio from the computer, which another benefit of that, outside of being able to like switch on the fly, is that the TV, these are really good headphones. Like these are Bose headphones. The TV has a buzz, just like inherently a part of the TV on the audio. If I hook up these headphones to the TV next to me, it has this low hum on it. Perpetual. Doesn't matter if there's any sound actually being played. It has a low hum. I've done a lot of things to try and get rid of it. I can't get rid of it. Just it's part of the thing. It's the TV itself, I guess. The computer doesn't. So I've now gotten rid of a low hum in the headphones while I'm on the desktop. I can still hear it when I run the TV audio. I've got a little switcher device here that these headphones are plugged into, so I can switch to the TV when I want to. And yeah, that it still has that hum on the TV, but at least I don't get it with the computer anymore. So that's the biggest of changes. Also, it's nice that the Windows 10 dark mode setting now actually has the darkness applied to the Windows Explorer windows. Like, that's pretty big. That's a pretty big deal not to be blinded by white on the Windows Explorer's windows anymore. That is nice. I have no idea how long that's actually been part of it, but hey, it's a thing that exists now on my computer, which makes me actually happy. Uh, so yeah, if things sound different as well, just updates to the computer that happened messed with the audio a little bit. Um, but yeah, that's the computer stuff. That's the computer stuff. The kittens are doing well. They are adjusting. The male Ollie is still a bit skittish. He is skittish, but he also eats a lot. So slowly but surely he is adjusting. He's not as skittish as evening one. So progress. Progress is happening. He is sensitive to loud noises still. Uh so we just have to be a little bit more careful because he'll dash off with any sudden noise. But eventually that will ideally subside as you know the as the sounds happen more and more often. He'll eventually get used to it. Ideally, that tends to be how things go, right? When you're presented with a new stimulus, if you keep being presented with that stimulus, eventually you just ignore it. It won't trigger the same reaction as initially. Dolly, though, the female, she's fine. She's relaxed. She will explore. She'll climb up onto you and be lovey-dovey. So she's okay. She's fine. It's just Ollie needs to know where she is at all times and meows for her and is a bit skittish right now, but of course that will improve. Let's see what else. What else is there to say before I switch over? Uh, 200 followers on Twitch. So thank you so very much for all those follows. I got a little achievement the other day. I saw when it hit 200. I was like, "Oh, really? I did not realize I was at 200 Twitch followers at the moment. So yay, we're progressing. 200 followers. Huzzah! Also, 10 patrons on Patreon officially as of like the 31st. Thank you so much to our new copper tier patron who joined on the 31st at that tier, and then because Patreon is Patreon, Patreon charges the first of the month as well. So thanks. Uh I don't know why you chose the timing that you did, but hey, it happens. It happens. Thank you so very much. And just to let you know, that's just how Patreon works with recurring payments. It basically when you join later in the month, you get charged at the beginning of the month regardless. So, yeah, that can lead to a situation where you get charged on the last day of the month when you join, and then you get charged the very next day, which is exactly what happened. But anyway, thank you so much for all of that. The 10 marks the completion of a goal to have 10 Patreon subscribers or patrons. And that means that I will now be doing monthly update videos that will be posted on YouTube. I have to record the one that will go up tomorrow. Ideally, I want to get those out on the 3rd of the month every month from here on out. Just going over thanking patrons as well as discussing what the content is going to be for the coming month. Probably just also talking about like what I've been playing and all of that. Just a general, update blog, monthly update blog type thing / vlog, if you want to call it that. So that's going to be coming soon, every month from here on out. For meeting that 10 patron goal on Patreon. The next goal is currently 20, and that will be to have a dedicated YouTube Let's Play slot going forward. But I was planning on adding some sort of a reward for getting to 15 patrons. So, in my Discord, in the suggestion section, I am taking suggestions for what the 15 patron reward should be. With the caveat that I'm not really that big into multiplayer for doing multiplayer server type stuff, and I'm also planning on doing the Let's Play slot at 20. So, though, like, that was literally the two suggestions thus far that I got. Was one, to have a day setting up a multiplayer server, which I would have to even learn how to set up a multiplayer server and even be remotely interested in playing in multiplayer, Factorio. And then the other one was to do a Let's Play, which I'm pretty much, I said that the 20-person goal was to have a slot to do a Let's Play, but anyway. Taking suggestions, my initial thought was to have a stream day, a new 4th stream day each week, where I will play something other than this particular playthrough. That was my thought for the 15-person goal. So let me know in the Discord what you think. Again, my initial thought is extra stream day playing something different than the Pi Suite. That could be a different Factorio playthrough, it could be anything, but just something other than this particular Pi Suite playthrough. So that is, I think, everything. Total War! You can watch me suck at playing Total War. Sure. I don't even own the most recent Total War. And I don't even own all the DLC for, like, Warhammer 2 at all. Like, not even close. So, I don't know. I don't know. Let's get into the game, because I need to also talk about the things that I did off screen in the game. So, here's our base. I need to start the tech again, because I was doing off-screen stuff and I turned off the stuff. So the biggest thing, I guess, would be this right here. So this right here is new. So as it turns out, blood at the moment, it's Mukmo for blood as one of the better options to use. So I decided that, well, since Mukmo have the most units of blood per creature of the creatures I currently have access to, that I may as well just use the exact same build as the guts and just make them produce blood. So that's exactly what I did. It's just a copy paste. It's just a copy paste of that exact build, and then the machines just switched from guts to blood. And of course, I didn't need to make the fetal serum for it here. So very, very simple. Nothing like new here. I considered it more scaling than anything else. And then as for how much this actually produces of blood, 600 per second. 600 blood per second. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Tacked on a extra train station up here with a couple slots of depot for the blood. What animal was supposed to be best for blood? Let me see. Should I do it through this search? So, blood in general. Extract Ulrich. Ulrich are 80. Augur 100. Mukmo are 130. Arthurian are 50. Scrondrix are 70. Fat Eye are 30. Fish are 8 into 40. The Dingrits are 30. That's 40. The Trits are 80. Corlex are 30. These are the base numbers, by the way, before additional techs give you more. The Cotton Guts, it's 1 to 10. So maybe even the Cotton Guts would be somewhat ideal. It looks like the other stuff gives you arthropod blood. Like, all the other things give you arthropod blood, or don't give blood, or are Xenos, which give sulfuric acid for blood, or are Vrauk, which give formic acid as blood. So, yeah. Stuff and things. And the arthropods, Dilmos give arthropod blood. Kamouts do. Vonix do. Zipier. All that good stuff. I'm just, like, randomly taking text now. Let's not worry about that. You may have also noticed this here. So, you know, seaweed. I've got a little seaweed farm here. I said I was going to do it, and I did it. I've done a dedicated seaweed factory. If I had all these buildings placed, what is the output of this? Well, each of these lines is a red belt of output of seaweed. So there's 5 of these. So 5 times 30 would be 150. So I have once everything is built here, 150 seaweed per second of production. Which I think technically would outpace even having 2 trains, depending on how far the trains have to travel. But yeah, these are also, I think, full wagons of seaweed, because there's just so much. There's 5 full throughput red belts of seaweed once all these buildings are placed. And yes, it's using the Mark II modules in each of these. So it's the Mark II seaweed crop buildings along with the Mark II modules. That's how this is at least somewhat reasonable. In size, 36 Mark II buildings with Mark II modules to give you an output of 30 per second using the limestone recipe. So that's what I did there. Also went around and did some adjustments on biomass, still finding places where I have to adjust for biomass. This here being one of them that was very, very much causing issues with my production on sponges. I was very limited on sponges, also added stuff into these sap extractors for the Yotoi. Note as well that Mark II sap tree modules exist now. I have set that up. That is a change that had gone through. relatively recently, where the sap seeds and trees are done now in the botanical nursery. So all of that is happening right now. It looks like it's actually limited on this by the production of the Mark 1s, which I find absolutely hilarious. Yeah, I don't have any regular sap trees. It's all like trying to go into the Mark 2s right now. So, yeah, let's give them access to all of the Mark 2s or all the Mark 1s that I'm holding right now so that we can get them all upgraded into Mark 2s. That would be nice. Also, let's be sure to limit these seeds. That can cause issues if the seeds aren't limited. Even though this process is 0.3. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, which is making 0.32, or slightly more than what I need to get this going completely. Also, blood being brought in on this pretty big line of stuff with names that I haven't been keeping up with. All these request stations for the mall. I did this little thing right in here as well for getting into my mall train station. So I've added an entrance and exit on this little line that was relatively recently added because it was right next to the little thing to get out. So they can go all the way around and now they can leave. And when they come in, they can just come in, go around. There's a little waiting spot there, and then go in for any of these. For any of these. They can't get up to these without going all the way around, but I think I'm okay with that. It's like a split train station now. And it should work. It should be fine. Ideally, it should be fine. Okay. High grade. High grade lead and silver will be what I attempt to do today. Just right here in Hellmod, I want to note, just say, hey, I think it's pretty obvious what I'm trying to work on right here. I am still in the process of trying to get rid of every stolen thing that exists. So there's a reason why I wanted to get blood. There's a good reason why I wanted to get blood, and this is why. Right here. Atomizer of blood into chlorine. I think that's my current solution for chlorine outside of Tholins. Note that I am making 600 blood right now, and at the moment, blood doesn't have too many uses besides some blood meal, but otherwise 600's a bit much, so That coal is for the building power, yes. It's the fact that the atomizer requires a fuel, so it can be any fuel source that's a solid fuel. Any of the solid fuels, it just defaults to coal on that. And I do have the Mark II atomizers as well. The organic solvent, I don't know. I just don't know at this point on the organic solvent. I really am, I guess, waiting for that alternative acetone recipe. That's what I guess I'm really waiting for at this point is alternative acetone. And I'm putting serious consideration behind having a dedicated organic solvent factory as another thing. Maybe even a dedicated activated carbon factory. I don't even. I odd at this point. I odd. Maybe also having a dedicated ammonia factory might be useful. It's getting used fair in pretty big amounts, so yeah. There is the titanium tetrachloride for acetone, yes, through the distillates stuff that I have looked at. I have looked at uh, that one. That. So here's what I was looking at on a dedicated organic solvent factory that would also give a little bit of ammonia. Uh, yeah, I would have to like vent excess ammonia. I'm not dumb. I would put ammonia onto the train network as well that gets produced out of this, even though I know I need way more ammonia. Um, yeah, it's 2 per second of titanium tetrachloride to do 400 organic solvent, which is a lot, which is a lot. But I'd also have to figure out something with 20 phenol per second. So I guess I'm putting the phenol onto the train network and then voiding the excess. Yes, how much? Well, it eats this. It shows you right here how much more chlorine does the TiCl4 eat. It eats 20. It's 10 per one, so it would eat 40 blood per second. And yeah, this is the full factory for the organic solvent. Just note this is the full factory on the organic solvent. Um, I may have to set this up now. Why would I need to actually do this as what we do today? Why would I need to do this as what we do today? Well, as it turns out, I think silver, yeah, this high grade setup requires this stuff. This beautiful, glorious cyanic acid, which, ammonia. Does it require anywhere the organic solvent? I don't. Oh, good. It does not require organic solvent, but it does require this stuff, which ammonia. Uh, God, might want a cyanic factory. I might want a cyanic factory. Should we do a cyanic factory? By looping the low stuff, I can reduce crude input by looping low? Huh? On this? Why would I need to reduce the crude input? Crude is not limited. So yeah, crude is not limited. Gas is not limited. Nat but by the way, this is just natural gas, syngas. I was not going to make this even more complex by adding even more crap to things. Yeah. Why are there twice? Why is that twice? I don't know. Yeah, circuit threes for the compression. What was I looking at? I can't so I just unlocked these ultra fast belts. These beautiful green ultra fast belts that have an underground length of 30, which is the same as my red belt. They are not particularly worth using unless I need the speed of 90 per second, versus the blues at 45 that are also max length 30. Uh, I get more max length the further we go down. But the point is, you need the blue belts to make these greens, and these require special small parts and super alloy, which the special small parts also require super steel. So, yeah, we're a little ways away from all of that nonsense. All of that nonsensical stuff. So, techs. What are the techs that I want to take right now? I don't know. Are any of these of a particular value to me? That petroleum gas is of a very good particular value to me. That is the only one of these recipes that I would very much be somewhat interested in. Doink. Also considering a dedicated titanium tetrachloride factory, although I am making titanium tetrachloride in my mall. I am doing titanium tetrachloride in my mall, and I do realize that my mall is making chlorine from tholins. My mall currently is making chlorine via tholins. I can get rid of that by atomizing blood. They're currently I am currently atomizing guts. Let's not atomize guts. Let's atomize blood for that. Thanks. So I don't need to do this, but I do need ammonia. And did I want to set up a dedicated cyanic factory? Did I want a dedicated cyanic? I don't know. This stuff can be made here, this Z3. That can be made locally with lead. It does not particularly matter so much. So yes, each of these steps, by the way, is all part of this grander high-grade lead and silver process. It's all part of it. So it's like, do I do oleochemicals separately? Is a question I'm asking myself right now. I should probably do this one locally because it's so simple. It's a coke input. Soda ash is basically just salt and ash, which are free, completely free, especially if I do syngas out of stuff. I should do syngas out of natural gas instead of this, because that will give me flue gas for ash that I can use for the soda ash. I don't think it would give me enough, but it would give me some. And I'm using natural gas anyway here to make the methanol. So in all actuality, we can do... If I can find that recipe among all of this list, we can do this recipe. That'd give me 142 flue gas, which would make some amounts of ash. I don't know, can I just go here and be like, hey, you out of flue gas. That would require 446.5. This only makes 142.9. It's not taking into account that, I think. Well, anyway. We could be here literally forever trying to tweak things to make it perfect, or I could just start going out there and actually building this processing setup. And then decide what I would really want to do at the very end. Although, just note, step 1 is going to require that cyanic going past the lead dust. So everything before the lead dust I already have, and then everything after lead dust, so from here down, is what I would be building to do the high-grade processing. Use biomass for ash, I suppose? I suppose if I do the cyanic locally and I'm producing the biomass, that would make sense to do that for the ash. So there is an ash. So it's where? Excuse me. Oh, hello. All that nonsense. Is it flue gas, actually, that's the biomass? I think it's flue gas. So it's flue gas out of biomass. Hot air. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, that's a bit. That's a little bit of stuff. Again, I should have a dedicated biomass factory out of Moss as well. That stuff. That one. Matrix. And there we go. Why? No. Oh, that blows so hard. Wow. Really? Really? You're going to be 0.03 more than a red belt? It's going to be 0.03 more than a red belt. Like, really? Anyway, I think this is close enough as to what the build is going to be. So I need to make notes. I need to make notes. Let me bring up on the side here some building counts. Some building counts. So 2 HPF, 9 moss, 4 compost, 3 gas refinery. That's the gas refinery, yes, yes. That's the 3 filter, 1 washer, 1. That's an agitator? Do I not have a Mark II? See, down here we've got 5 Mark 1 FTS, 5 FTS Mark 1. These are outside inputs. I don't care about their existence. We've got another +2, 6 soil extractor. The reason why I have to go through and make notes of these individually is that if I do go in and like go to summary, it's only going to tell me this current block in the summary. It's not going to tell me the summary of everything, which is one of the current issues I have with Hellmod's existence.